Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I gotta say, this week has definitely been really good for General Hospital. And you know me, I always sit there and talk about the good, the bad, the in between. I will sit there and give a show, characters, or whatever their props when they step up. And this episode definitely did deliver like it has all week. Now, with that being said, there are some things that I just found to be completely and utterly somewhat acidine. I don't understand why Trina and Spencer couldn't just get off that boat. Like, it's like they had to sit there and find excuses and reasons for them to stay on the boat, and it made little to no sense. Um, Now I'm very perplexed. I'm very conflicted, I would sit there and say, about Trina's sudden turnaround with Curtis. You know, Curtis is like, yo, listen, you need to sit there and leave. You need to go. And trying to convince Spencer and Trina was just so annoying. But then, Trina's all like, oh, well, you can't go before I tell you. She wants to sit there and say she loves him, but, she's not fully ready to say that. And well, on one hand, it seems like it's very sweet and nice, and they finally get to this point. I'm also sitting there just thinking, maybe for me, but I still remember that energy that she was sitting there giving him not that long ago. Talking about, oh, Taggart is my forever dad, and this, that, and the third, and she was being very cold and somewhat distant to him before. Now, your forever dad is nowhere to be found. Um, Not so much as a call or a text, trying to find out what's going on, trying to be worried. And this man is literally sitting there risking life and limb, even though that you may not be his daughter. So, I don't know. It's just like this sudden energy, this sudden turnaround energy is just kind of more of a whiplash thing for me. But even the nanny from hell actually showed up. And, they're all like, oh, we got to get him a jacket, this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm pretty sure that seaplane or seaboat or whatever it was not that far. I'm pretty sure that child could have handled that distance, but they did everything they could. Oh, well, we got to get the sat phone. We got to do this. We got to do that. It was just exhausting to watch. Now, I got to sit there and say Anna coming in there like a badass. I definitely loved. Definitely loved that. Laura was not there, like, yo, listen, we'll all go down. We'll all go down. Now, Lisa was not there trying to say something, but the guard, was, shut her mouth, and she was like, yo, listen, I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care. And Victor was like, you'll kill everyone. So, of course, she drops it, and he's like, yeah, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. It doesn't work without the sunlight, without UV rays, so, yeah. So now at this point, they're all kind of like held captive and stuff. Of course, like I said, Anna comes in there and it's just a true badass. And then there's this whole fight scene, and Laura gets shot, but she only gets shot in the arm because apparently Victor is a really bad shooter. Takes Lisa. But of course, they're outside and, they get stopped by Holly, which is really great. And I'm just like, yeah, listen. This whole thing has to come to an end at some point because we still got to wrap up the other story. The Willow storyline that they seemed like they just forgot about. Yeah, maybe we should sit there and wrap that up. Now Trina was, she was useful as far as knocking out the nanny from hell. And I was like, props to Trina for coming back and, taking care of the situation. The most was just like, there wouldn't have been no situation to take care of if they just would have moved their asses like a long time ago. But here we are. Meanwhile, for some, okay, so this is something that irked me, right? Carly and Michael is talking to TJ and talking about the condition of Willow and how it's getting a lot worse. She should stay at the hospital, um, as opposed to going home. Michael has a tough decision to make, right? But the whole time, not one of them are sitting there thinking about Nina. Now, at this point, we all know how much I do not like Nina, aka Ninaism. But at the very least, you could have sat there and called her up and be like, hey, we don't get along, but your daughter, it ain't looking good. You might want to sit there and get down to the hospital. Nothing. None whatsoever. And then when Dex does call Josh to sit there and be like, hey, give you a heads up that Sonny and Nina are coming, because he had to be the one to sit there and tell them. Josh had the audacity to have this stank look on her face, and I'm like, oh, this ain't the time for it. Like, I get it, you don't like Nina. And I'm not even sitting there gonna blame you for why you don't like Nina. But this ain't about you, little girl. This is literally about her daughter's life in peril. You can't sit there. And even Carly had that stupid stank look on her face, and I was like, oh, this ain't the time for it. I get you don't like Nina. And to be honest, I completely understand where she's coming from. But this ain't the time for it. This is literally not the time and the place for it. So for her to sit there and have that attitude, I'm going to be honest, it pissed me off. And I'm not even a Nina fan, and that pissed me off. Carly and Josh are sitting there talking about how Ned is the person that, that turned them into the SEC, which I'm not going to lie, I really don't like that name. I'm going to probably call it FCC at some point, and I know that's the wrong name, but yeah. Hell, even Sonny isn't there talking, oh, I'm going to find out who it is or whatever. Then he's not there saying that, oh, yeah, Ned did it, Everyone's not there saying Ned did it. And I'm like, Nina, you're going to get Ned killed if things go sideways. And maybe not even killed, but definitely a couple broken legs. But, I mean, if she was really as strong as she thought she was, as far as that whole, well, Sonny would understand, you should sit there and tell him. Yeah, Zach, you're not going to tell him. Shut up. Whatever that agent's name is that I forgot, I'm just going to call him Agent Dick. Is literally that they're trying to drag Robert out. But of course, Jordan and Diane got something to say about that. And they pretty much kind of put like a little bit of a halt on dragging them down to God knows where. Even gets the cuffs off of them. But oh, and Trina did manage to get contact with Jordan to tell him about the situation, and Jordan's like, yo, y'all gotta go, and she's like, why? What's going on? I'm like, and she tells him like, yo, listen, they about to sit there and nuke that whole place. They sending droids there now to sit there and nuke it. Like, you gotta go. I'm like, I just didn't understand the holdup. I really did not understand the holdup. I'm like, yo, listen, you can sit there and take that baby and take that Jack and just do this and just keep moving. But whatever. For some odd reason that made sense. Oh, and before that, all Josh did was just whine to Dex about, all her family issues. Asked Dex if he had second thoughts. And, Josh was like, oh, well, I see what you've seen in Sonny. I've seen it once too. And I'm like, you ungrateful piece of... You know that he's can give acts of kindness. Okay? But this little POS is still pissing because he cheated on her mom. And while I understand the level of anger when it comes towards that, well, they have been going back and forth like that for years. And at some point, Carly has probably cheated on Sonny as well. But of course, tunnel vision and revive history in her tiny little brain. She's just focused on that one little thing that's happened. So because of that, she's all like, well, he did what he did and he deserves to go to jail and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, you stupid, naive little twit who honestly thinks that the world is literally just black and white. I forgot to sit there and talk about that. And I felt like if I would have ended the review and not talked about that, I'm like, I mean, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. It's just that they're talking about how she wanted to complain for a good 5 minutes before they got the call. Just pretty much didn't say that things was turning for the worse. Yet no one bothered to call Nina for some odd reason. Hmm. Um, I think yep, that's pretty much about it. Oh, also, before I go, and we'll talk about it more tonight as well. Um, I forgot there's another person that's taking over the role of Christina. A lot of people were up in a fuss, in a huff, in a tizzy about it, and just don't go on, don't go on certain social medias about it because. Like, people are taking this so left and like, oh no, they just hit and replaced Alexis. And I'm just like, first of all, that's not even the topic of what's going on. And also, listen, I like Lexi as Christina, but for whatever reason, they can't have her be there. They can't have her be there. And let's be honest, even when she's there, they don't really do much with the character. So, either she chose to leave, they chose to go in a different direction. I don't know. But I think before people get all super pissy, let's see what she can do. Let's see what she can do, and let's see if they can give her some story. Let's be honest. Even when they did have Lexi there, they didn't really do anything with her. So, like, I don't, I don't understand why I don't understand why people are just that pissy about it. It's like, oh man, I miss her as the Rose. Like, yeah, and what was she doing when she was there? I said the same thing about Summer when she first got replaced, and people were like, I like the other actress. I'm like, you're not having her do anything now. Like, why does it matter? Unless she completely just sucks ass, it's not really gonna matter. And the same thing with this actress. Unless she sucks, it's not going to matter. It's not because they're not gonna really do much with her anyway. So what does it matter? Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else that happened. But as always, if I did forget something, come to the live stream tonight. It will not be a dumpster fire like it kind of was last night when things kind of went off the rails because I chose to give my opinion about something that not everyone totally agree with, which was fine. Um, when it comes to the soaps, I don't really care. It's like we can go back and forth, but um, I did feel like it was getting a little bit unnecessary, like the amount of tension that did happen during the live stream. But, that's the thing. I guess, I'm still learning about this whole streaming, about this live streaming and stuff like that. And I do like to sit there and think I'm getting into somewhat of a groove. And there's times I try things and sometimes things work, sometimes things don't work. And that was just one of those things that clearly did not work. Um, so yeah, we're going to be sitting there talking about the replacement and all that stuff. That being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.